true. Clothespins aren't just for laundry anymore. Hey besties, it's Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. If you want to do quick and easy DIYs on a budget that anyone can do, then let's craft our best lives together right now. We're going to take 16 of these medium-sized clothespins. They might seem on the smaller side, and we're going to use one of the metal connector pieces. We're also going to use some antique wax and plaster color chalk baked from Waverly. We're going to take apart each of these clothespins. So you just twist it, pull off one, and then the other piece usually comes off very easily. If it doesn't, just a little tug and it comes right off, as you can see. And I always save those metal pieces. Now we're going to actually put them right back together the right way with some hot glue. Just put a little bit of hot glue in two of those spots where they connect. Put it together. What we want is the clothespin back together without the metal piece. So we're going to do that to all 16 of the clothespins. Now that we've got them, we're going to start arranging them in the shape of a cross. Now, obviously, you can make any kind of cross that you want out of these, any pattern, I should say. This is just what I did. I worked in little sections of threes, putting them together, and at the end, there's one extra one. And then I'm going to glue them together wherever they touch. I'll just start in a small section like the top here and then do the rest. I'm not going to show you because it's just repetitive, putting a couple dots of glue. And I'm just using hot glue for this because it's very light. Got this beautiful kind of burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree with a little bit of white twine in it. I'm going to cut pieces that are big enough to cover those openings. And on the back side, I'm just going to put them on so that the front shows through the little opening. I'll cut them to size and then trim the edges. Just put a little hot glue on each end. And like I said, cut anything on the ends that's excess. And now you can see, you just see that ribbon poking through. It looks very rustic. This is a very rustic cross. I'm going to take that little metal connector. I'm going to put a piece of twine right through the little coily side of it. If you have to make your end of that glue a little stiff with glue, that works well. I'm going to hot glue the metal right to the back of the cross and then take the two pieces of twine that are sticking out and hot glue them down out of the way so you can't see them. And now I've got a very secure hanger and it's just perfect. I'm going to take the antique wax and I'm just going to lightly brush over it, not a heavy coat by any means. I'll kind of wipe some of it off the brush onto my napkin there. And I did the sides as well. And now I'm going to take the plaster and I'm going to wipe most of it off and I'm going to dry brush across, where you put just a little on the brush, wipe most of it off, and then drag it across the surface you want to use it on. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and just wipe off the excess because I didn't want it to be quite as clumpy looking. And I love that rustic look. Look at that. I'll do a little bit on the sides, putting barely any on my brush at all. And honestly, that's it. It's ready to go. You could put this anywhere in your house. I think it's beautiful. I love crosses. We have quite a few of them. And I know a lot of you really love them too. So let me know what you think of this one. For this clothespin DIY, I'm going to take 33 of the regular size clothespins. And then I've got a wreath ring from the Dollar Tree, a small one, and two sets of napkins, one from the Dollar Tree. And then I've got some burlap. What we're going to do is we're going to take the burlap, we're going to wrap it around once on the wreath ring and hot glue it to itself. And then we will just start wrapping around, kind of overlapping until we get around the entire wreath ring. And like I said, this was a smaller one. I think they're like 6 or 8 inches. And then on the back, I'm just going to hot glue the end of it down and trim off any excess. Now I'm going to take one of those metal connectors and do the same thing I did before, thread some jute through the little squiggly parts, hot glue it directly to the back as our hanger. I'm going to trim a little bit of the jute because I had too much, but I will go ahead and hot glue that down. And then I will also hot glue down the remaining jute. That way it's nice and secure. And what a great way to have a hanger. One of my beautiful viewers suggested this. Actually, it was her husband's idea. So I love sharing those ideas. I'm going to take one of the napkins that I had. I'm going to take a little piece of tape and put it on the end. And when you do that, it's so easy to separate the plies. This is a 2-ply napkin. I think this one came from Pop Shelf and I got it when I was out of town. Unfortunately, we don't have one here. I'm going to cut away the part of the napkin that doesn't have a pattern. And then I'm just going to turn over the part that does have a pattern so I see the back side. I'm going to put a generous amount of hot glue on the back of each of those clothespins until I have however many I want in this pattern I'm going to do. So because I've got 2 napkins, I'm going to have 2 different patterns on my napkins. So you can decide what number you want to do. Here's my other napkin, which is from the Dollar Tree, also a 2-ply, and I will separate it the same way and attach the clothespins exactly the same way. Once they dry, I'll turn it over and add another coat of Mod Podge to the top. When that dries, I'm going to cut away the excess paper and then cut between each clothespin so that I just have a clothespin with a little bit of napkin hanging over the edges. Once I got them all cut out, I'm going to take a little sanding sponge, or you could use a nail file, and in a downward motion, I'm going to go around and I'm just going to get a clean edge by going down on the sides and sanding off the excess, and it just leaves such a beautiful edge. I will show you. Look at that, perfectly clean. So I'm going to do that to all the rest of the clothespins. There they are. Now I've got my wreath all ready to start gluing them on. I'm going to start like a clock, and I'm going to pick one clothespin at 12 o'clock, one at 3, one at 6, and one at 9. It always makes it easier to even things out. Now, I'm not going to say that I always even them out perfectly even when I do this, but I'm just telling you it's a great tip to do it. So now I'm going to start working out whatever pattern I decide to do. So there they are. All 23 are on there right now. I attached tea bags. That's what I decided to do. You could put pictures, anything you want. What a fun idea for a wreath. Let me know if you'd like to try this one. For this clothespin DIY, this is so easy. It is using the least amount of clothespins, just one. And then I've got this cute little cutting board that I got at Hobby Lobby and some florals that I got from the Dollar Tree. And this is a picture of our late dog, Sophie, who died a little over a year ago. We still miss her so much, and we have some pictures of her. So I thought, what a good way to display them. I'm going to cut it out like fussy cut. You know, it's moving the picture more than the scissors is what makes that come out really well. I'm literally going to take one clothespin. I'm going to hot glue the back side of it directly to kind of like the handle of the cutting board. I'm going to put Sophie's little picture. It almost gives it a 3D look like this. And I left a little bit of the outline around her. Then I'm going to take little pieces from this Dollar Tree pick and just put a couple of the leaves and flowers. And I'm going to take some twine. I'm just going to tie around the center and attach them so that they are nice and secure. Plus it gives me something very nice to attach to the cutting board. I like to do that. I mean, you can glue those greenery pieces right on if you want. I just like to do it. It's easier than if you decide to change it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there, wait till it dries. And then what I'm going to do is I've got this ribbon. I think I got it at Walmart. It's a long time ago, and it's got cute little paw prints. I'm going to make a little awareness bow, bring down the middle. I'm going to put a touch of hot glue in there just to hold it still after I trim off, the excess there. I'm just going to make sure that it stays while I wrap twine around it. Now, you could just go directly to the twine and wrap it around it. I seem to lose the shape of my bow when I do that, so that's why I use a drop of hot glue. So I'm going to start with the twine on the back with a little bit of hot glue and then just start wrapping it around till I get the center that I want, the thickness that I think is nice. Once I do that, I'll trim that and hot glue it to the back again. And now I've got this beautiful bow with that twine right as the center. I'm going to hot glue it directly to the center of my little pick arrangement. And then I'm just going to cut a little angle on each side. I'm not going to dovetail these. It's kind of a small ribbon. And that's it for that one. Now I'm going to take another little piece of that ribbon and I'm going to put it directly over the top of the clothespin and then trim off the excess at the end. And it's so cute. I love it. I'm going to put another piece of twine together through the hole coming from the back and just do kind of a slip knot right through it and then tie a knot at the top. I'll trim away anything that's not even. Honestly, it's so easy. I was going to stop here and then I thought, you know what? I'd love to put her name on it. And I didn't want to use any of the stickers that I had. So I carefully, in cursive, wrote her name, Sophie. And now I'm going to go over it with one of the Dollar Tree little fine tip markers. And I'll go over it a few times and start thickening up the letters a little bit just to make them look a little bit fancier than my handwriting. And I just think it came out so pretty. And we'll always see our little Sophie, who we miss so much, when we have this up. Anyway, I hope this will be inspiring to you. You can put a dog, a child, whatever you want. I think it would be so fun to do. Another super easy clothespin DIY. I'm going to need 13 and a half clothespins, and then I'm using this apple juice bottle, plastic bottle. I'm just going to take off the wrapper because we don't need that. And then I'm going to take a clothespin. I'm going to measure how tall it is when you just have one up against it. And I'll use a second one just to validate it. And then I'm going to take a box cutter and go around and cut that whole thing off so I just have enough that the clothespin will cover. And this particular box cutter is like an ergonomically correct one I got on Amazon, and I love it. It's in my Amazon store if it's something you're interested in. The link is always in my description box below. And then I used some scissors to cut off any little points that were left. I'm going to separate all of the clothespins from the metal and then save the metal like I do for hangers and whatever else I decide to do with them. On the flat side, I'm just going to put the hot glue and then attach it directly to the little plastic container. This is going to become a little teeny succulent planter, or whatever kind of planter you want. And I'm going to use the curved side at the top. I thought that was a pretty design. And it's so repetitive. You just keep going all the way around and till you get the last one on there. And it worked out perfectly. Look, there's about half of it right there. And I think it's really cool because I wouldn't be able to cut wood that way. I don't have the tools to do that. There it is, the whole thing done. Now you could leave it natural if you wanted. You could stain it, you could paint it. I decided, because copper and rose gold is so popular right now, that I would take this rose gold folk art metallic paint that I have, and I'm just gonna do the very top section. So I'm gonna go around and do that flat part and then up over the top. That part's going to be in the rose gold. And you'll see here in a second that I have the whole thing done. Isn't that pretty? Then I'm going to do just the bottom section the same way, all the way around and then over the edge so that you can't see the end of it. And it's so easy. I mean, that's all I decided to do. Found a smaller succulent because this is a really small little container. And I've got some Spanish moss. I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm just going to cut away any pieces that are wily and sticking out, not what I want, and see how that all looks together. So trim that up just a bit. You could have it overflowing if you want. I'm just kind of neat and tidy, and that's the way I wanted to do it. There's no right or wrong way to do things like this. Do whatever you think looks good. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue. I didn't have the stem on that particular succulent. Add some hot glue, at least that way it sort of sits down. It's not fully attached, as you know. Anyway, but I thought it looked really cute. It's going to sit up on a shelf where I have some other copper and rose gold things, and I just thought that would look so beautiful. This was very easy, very fun to do. Let me know what you think. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye!